everyone, and welcome to Studio Insights with the Belvista Studios team. We've got Kim here and myself, Hannah, and what we do in Studio Insights is we ask each other questions, we learn from each other, and we share insights with you that can help you become a better learning designer. Before we get into the episode, we would really appreciate it if you love our videos, you love what we put out into the world, if you could click subscribe button below, click. It would be great to have you as part of the community and see any videos that come out. You'll see all the new things that we release, so get onto it. We've also got our Creator Hub where there are so many resources that will add value to you as a learning designer, which is also in the description below, so check out the Creator Hub. Let's get into the episode. Kim, you can ask the first question.
All right. I know you had a learning opportunity yesterday, and I'm excited to watch the episode. John Hinchliffe.
Yeah.
You had a guest on John Hinchliffe on Learning with Belvista Studios, which is our opportunity to learn from other people. And yeah, I know, well, preview for people coming, but I'd love to know what you got from that episode, because you were super excited to hold it based on just a random conversation that you had. And then I will watch it when it comes out and get my learnings. But what did you learn? Teach us.
I learned, so we spoke about like other skills that are useful to you as a learning designer. So like outside of the like learning articulate, writing for instructional design, all of that, we wanted to go beyond that and really like understand what other skills help you in your career.
Yeah.
So some of the things we spoke about is like the importance of like connecting with others in the industry. Especially like we spoke a lot about like sharing things on LinkedIn, sharing things on YouTube, and sharing your journey of what you're learning. And I think that's something that we do really, really well. Like we learn something new, we want to share it with others. And then that sort of like helps get our name out there and helps people like recognize us. And they might think, oh, like I remember that video that Belvista did. I wonder if they'd be good for this project. So just like learned a lot about the importance of like sharing your truth, adding value to others, and how it can come back to you in good ways in the future. Some of the other things we spoke about was like, so we spoke about videography, which is a skill that not all of us like put a lot of time into learning, but like learning how to do like captions on videos and like how to make like the backdrop of videos look nice. And we were talking about like for personal branding, it can be really good. So if you have meetings, like what do you have in the background of your camera? Like, is it like sparking conversations with stakeholders and clients? So what John does, he has like a bookshelf behind him, and there's like all different books that sort of like represent who he is as a person and the sort of like conversations he would like to have with people. So like there's like one Ron Burgundy from Anchorman, and that's sort of like his humor and like movies he likes.
I reckon.
I was like, oh my god, I love Anchorman, and then we're like talking about that. He had like Gary Vaynerchuk on there. He had like certain like learning theories that he uses in his role, and he said it's just like a really great way to like, if he's in a meeting with a stakeholder, they're like, oh, what's that book about? Or like, I've read that book too, and it just helps like have like intentional conversations. So I thought that was really cool. Also, like we spoke about artificial intelligence and how we could be using that as instructional designers, things like quicker and easier for ourselves. I'm trying to think of like the specific thing that we spoke about. So there's things like, one of the things we spoke about was there's like a new technology where if you're like not looking at the camera, it like directs your eyes to look into the camera. So like intelligence will like change the direction of your eyes to like look into the camera. And we're saying like that would be cool, like when we do videos, like say like leadership of an organization are being interviewed, or like they're reading like a transcript or something, like the AI can like direct their eyes so it looks like they're speaking to the camera, and it comes across like genuine, and it's like come from them rather than a script. So I thought that was really cool. There was also like teleprompters that like it like shows you your script, but it goes with your pace. So it doesn't just go at like a random pace. It like listens to how quickly you're talking and like the way that you talk as a human, and then it like changes the speed of it to suit like you. So just little things like that that can like add that little bit like of extra like seamless or finesse look to your design or your video. We spoke about marketing. So what was some of the things of marketing? Yeah, the main thing we spoke about with marketing is like adding value to the other person.
Okay.
So like rather than like, so like finding out what's important to them, which is what we do in human-centered design, what's their why, what's going to add value to them, and using that to like build connections with them and get their buy-in. So for example, when you're on LinkedIn, if you've like just started in the industry and you're wanting to get yourself out there and you want to get a job or like anything like that, rather than seeing it as like, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to ask people for a job, or I'm going to like ask them for advice. Think about like in your stage of life, what value can you offer others in the industry, and focus on like giving other people value first, because then you like build that rapport with them, you share value with them. And even like if you learn something in your day, like if you're brand new in the industry, you can create a post and be like, this is what I learned today. I learned that this tool does this and it made this easier for me. Put it out into the world, build like your personal brand online. And then like you start like building a presence in the industry and you like attract the right people for you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's true. I just point out to people as well with that, it is it takes longer, but the results are bigger. So like you said, you attract the right employer, project, whatever it is. And it means that it's more of a match made in heaven is probably what I just shared there. But people that are in that, I need to earn my next paycheck, I've just been made redundant, my circumstances have changed, that can be very hard to do. But I would then look at the proportion of the add value versus my actions based out of fear and scarcity right now, and definitely encourage what you're describing. Yeah,
that's cool. Another thing was, this one was epic because I don't always think about this, and it's like one that I could relate to looking back at my journey. And he said like one of the most important skills is to like be okay with / love failure. Like in our roles, you're not going to get things perfect the first time. You are going to have to experiment. You're going to be using tools that you've never used before because the world's like continually evolving. New things are coming out, like for example, like the AI, the chat GPT. No one was really prepared for that. It just came out and now people are using it. So he was talking about like you need to learn to be okay with failing and don't let it get you down and like stop you and think like, I'm not right for this industry or this isn't the right job for me because I failed. Like that is part of being a learning designer. So he gave some advice on like how to love failing and how him loving failing has helped him like progress in his career too. It was like a really good one as well.
That's cool. Can I just add something there, Hannah, if you don't mind? Because I was in the IDLE courses community the other day, like doing a webinar, and one of the questions that came up, it was a Q&A, was around imposter syndrome, and I think it's really linked to what you're saying there, and just a different perspective on it, because the imposter syndrome, I was like in the chat, I was like, oh, what's the opposite of an imposter? And then someone was like the OG, and then I was like, oh, like the goat, like greatest of all time would be the opposite, right? And what I would say to people there, well, first of all, on the learning thing, not just the things that you've just shared in terms of like the AI and the chat GP, whatever that is, but like every single day something new happens that we need to adapt to. So it's not even significant industry changes or significant life changes, it's the fact that you have the potential to fail or not know anything in any single moment in a day, because anything new could come at you, including this conversation that's happening right now. You didn't know what question I was going to ask you. You had to respond. Like, And that's going to happen to me in a moment. Now, am I sitting here going, oh my God, I'm going to fail at whatever Hannah asked? So just that awareness of that. But going back to the greatest of all time and that idea of the imposter or failing is, I would encourage people, there is one thing that you can be the greatest of all time at, and it is you. And that is the thing. Then if you are in alignment with yourself in all moments, you will always be great. You will always work it out and you don't need to worry about anything else. So I think then, because if you trust yourself, like I know Kim is curious and I will work it out. I'm dealing with things that I've never dealt with before, unexpected things, unknowns. There's so many of them, from a practitioner perspective to a human being, to a friend, to a boss, a colleague, all of those things. There's so many of them. Oh, what do I know is that I just know Kim will work it out if I set my mind to it. So therefore I'm the greatest of all time, and therefore I just completely wash away the feeling of imposter in any aspect of my life.
That's so cool.
Just that conversation elicited a different perspective, which I think complements what you said quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Like you wouldn't really see it as failing. You'd be like, that was just me being me. And what can I, like, is that thing not right for me? Or like, could I do something differently that still aligns with me? Or, that's really cool. That was another part of when he was talking about failure, he was like, see it as like, look at how you could do things differently next time. Obviously that's still aligned with you, but like, what could I do differently to get the results that I'm wanting? And like focusing on that rather than focusing on like, I'm not good enough, or like, why did I screw that up? Well, like, yes, why did I screw it up? But not being like horrible to yourself about it, but actually being like he said, that's where his best learnings have come from, where he's like, no, like that didn't go the way I wanted it to. I can see now that that's why in the future, like I'm never going to do that again. And then like you get better and better as you like evolve.
That's it. Yeah. That prioritizing the pause to reflect.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I think I didn't expect you to ask that question because I had my head like in my task for today. So I was like, oh my God, what are we talking about again?
Well, there you go. You just demonstrated pretty much like a lot of the kind of harder skills that people would struggle with right there in the moment. So I think that's so beautiful to be able to do that, is to like be so task orientated today and then show up for an appointment in your calendar and not know what's going to come at you, and then demonstrate that so naturally you, because you're literally just being you. So yeah. Thank you. That's awesome.
So cool. I guess one more thing on that is like what I noticed probably as like an observer listening to John was like, take the time to like invest in your skills for the things that like interest you. Like when I think about all the things that he spoke about, I know that he loves doing those things. Like the videography, like he loves like speaking at conferences. He loves like doing podcasts and like sharing with other people. And like now he's getting into like, how can I make my videos cooler? How can I add like pop-ups? And like you could see that that's what he's passionate about. So I think if you like, follow your passion and what you love, you can use it. Like there's so many things that you can use as a learning designer in your career, because he's like, when I do like initiatives with clients and they want videos, I'm going to be better at like offering like additional little things that we can do because I'm learning about it in my own time because I love doing videos. So it's just, if you really love something, like allow yourself to learn more about it, get better at it, and then like consider how could I apply it in my role as a learning designer. Because I feel like our roles, like you can apply everything. There's not many things I can do, you couldn't really use it. That's a weird thing about learning designers.
Yeah, we're just problem solvers for life.
Yeah. So cool. But yeah, it is going to be an epic episode. I was so excited.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Good. All right. My question for you is, so in the AJ and Smart course,
on facilitation.
Yes. So like with virtual facilitation, we learnt that like you should always have a plan B because technology will fail you at some point. And like I experienced that my last workshop and I didn't have a plan B. I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like in the moment, I'm just wondering, like, do you have a plan B for when you do virtual workshops, or do you just figure it out in the moment?
I'd say there's a plan B that's evolved from failing in the past. So I have been in situations like, I just think internet cuts out and people don't show up, that kind of thing. I think like it's expect the unexpected, right? Nothing is guaranteed. So I kind of have that mindset with anything. And then second thing, I will work it out. So what will I work out? Holy shit, I don't know what I'm going to deal with. Could be broken internet, could be people can't get into the room, whatever it might be. I actually just think, what is the outcome I need to achieve so that minimal things are impacted? And I can, or actually, I don't even need to say that. That's a secondary thing. What is the outcome I'm trying to achieve? So for example, the schedule needs to proceed. Okay, well, how can I make it work? If I can't get back into the room, can I email and create space later? Someone important can't make it to the meeting, but there's 5 other people here, which happened to me last week. They're an important stakeholder, but so are the people in the room. Do we reschedule? What's the best thing? There's 5 people here. How do we respect their time? How do we respect the person that cancelled last minute? We want all input. What do we do in that moment? So it's that ability to just think of it that way. And I think at the very end of the day, like if all things fail and whatever technology fails or whatever, like humans will understand and you'll make a plan B. So that you don't have to figure it all out live. It's like, what's the best outcome I can achieve right now with the skills and resources available to me? Do that. And then maybe you do have to work a little bit harder, a little bit later to recover moving forward. But on the simplest level, it is just, I don't know what's going to happen in this situation. But if something does happen, what is the absolute minimum outcome I need to achieve and how might I get there?
Okay, so do you do that before the workshop or during, if that happens?
I'm saying this is an in the moment skill to learn, because that it's so unpredictable what might happen for you. It's so hard thing. Yeah, it is. Like I've had times where like I've had access to 4 internets and it has failed me. Number 1 goes down, number 2 goes down, number 3 goes down, number 4 goes down. I'm trying to connect to the next one. I'm facilitating the workshop. I got people sitting in the room. I can't access you guys to tell you that that's happening. And like, that's me planning. Like that's a whole lot of internet sitting there. You know what I mean? So like I have planned to that point going, like maybe there's times where my first internet might fail and my second, to the level of 4. Like you can't continue to plan and predict all situations. So it's about that adaptability. That's what I mean, is being able to adapt in the moment is better. Like you can do some sort of, like the reason I have 2 internets myself and then relying on a Wi-Fi is because it has failed that many times that I'm like, I don't want that to happen. But there's been circumstances where it still failed me and I can't possibly carry around 10 internets. Yeah,
that's the thing. That makes so much sense because when they were talking about it, I was like, you can have a plan B, but then what if the plan B doesn't work? And then you're like, oh my God, I have no other plan. So it makes sense to me. But I think it's good to, what I got from what they said is to like put yourself in a mindset where it may not work, like prepare yourself beforehand, rather than being like, oh my gosh, it was meant to be perfect and now I'm panicking and the client can see I'm panicking. Like just know and be okay with the fact that it might not work.
Yeah.
Think like knowing the outcome, like if you're really clear beforehand of like, my outcome is like I need this person, this person, this person in the room. I need to, like, for example, have the success statement done. Like, what's the bare minimum? So then when it does happen, you can look at the outcomes and be like, okay, how else can I achieve what's there, rather than being like, oh my God, what do I actually need to do? Like, so I think that is helpful. Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Good to know. I've got a couple of workshops coming up, so I want to prepare mentally.
And like knowing you're in an unstable situation, for example, and putting that out there at the beginning. So like, for example, hey team, just letting you know I'm expecting a phone call that is actually a personal phone call, and it's a critical situation right now. So I do have my phone on loud, and if you need to go, I'm literally going to exit the meeting. I've made you, Hannah, the co-host, so please continue. I will come back in, but I must answer the phone when it rings, and I'm going to drop it. It's going to be very, I don't know when that's going to happen. It's going to be very immediate to you. Or the second thing is saying, look, team, like another example, I've noticed that my internet is really funky today. I have a couple of backups sitting here, but it's going to be glitchy. So I might just come in and out of video at different times as I manage that. I might drop out and come out. I'm making you the co-host to support that so it doesn't kick you guys out. But we will spend the full time here, even if it takes me 15 minutes to get back in. Just setting that expectation now.
Yeah, I love that. If you like know something that is likely or possible, just set expectations at the beginning. Yeah, cool. Right. Well, thank you for that. I feel like you are very good at dealing with things on the fly, so it was good to get your you're good at dealing with things in the moment and reducing the stress time.
Because I've learned that you can't predict everything. So therefore, how can I predict everything? Be adaptable. Learn to work it out. It's the thinking skill in the moment.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of Studio Insights. Don't forget to check out the Creator Hub, and we will see you for the next episode.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, could I be a better instructional designer, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating, the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.